Welcome to the On Your Mind podcast, where we are changing the mental health narrative, bringing hope and solutions. Here's your host, Timothy J. Hayes, psychologist.
My next guests are Gabriella Delamora and Marian Kraus. For millennia, people of different cultures have used gongs to access and reconnect with their essence and higher consciousness through sound. Gabriella and Marion provide the vehicle to a guided meditative and transformational journey through a harmoniously layered, multidimensional tapestry of sounds designed to deeply relax and invigorate participants simultaneously. The couple creates a soothing and healing environment of ambient sounds created by 5 large gongs, a didgeridoo, a flute, hand pan, singing bowls, drums, rattles, and other sound tools, which positively rebalances the mind-body-spirit connection. Participants are presented with an opportunity to lift their awareness about limiting beliefs and how to transform them. Well, thank you so much, both of you, Gabby and Marion, for joining us this morning. It's delightful to see you again.
It is an honor to be back with you and your audience.
Yes, sharing all these things.
I'm excited because we kind of ran out of time the last time we were talking, and I was hoping you could let us know about what are some of the most frequent questions you get about either the benefits of the gong or the dynamics that make it useful in a healing process for someone.
Well, the very first question when we are in a group, when we provide this experience in a group is, how did you do that? No, it's always like the surprise, because this is so different than music, for example. This is really something that in the first session, they may feel a little confused, even nervous perhaps, because this is something that they have not registered before. So genuine questions, just intrigued. What is this? How did you do what you did, and was it recorded, and things like that?
Right. Which part of it was recorded?
And then, they begin to notice. Some of them begin to notice like changes, like pain subsiding and all of that. So they begin to ask, could it work for? And they begin to bring like things that they are concerned about. No, do you work with children? And could this help to somebody with different conditions? Those would be like
such as what, like depression, anxiety.
Depression, anxiety, because those are most of the people that we receive.
Right.
And they want to feel like a deep relaxation.
Right.
In consultation, for example, working with the sound, is this really going to work? Like, if you help me with this, mostly when they feel like so trapped and desperate because of the anxiety. So I would say that to me, those are the most frequent people that says, I have everything and I have resources and I could be traveling and I could be doing this and this and that, and I cannot do it because it's the anxiety is just like so paralyzing.
Yes, what we also hear sometimes is it normal that I had a feeling of just floating?
Just sharing a different experience.
Is it normal that I had a sense of just being not able to move? I just felt so grounded. Is it out of the norm that I connected with my loved ones who had gone before me, who had passed? So, there is a really broad spectrum of questions that come up. Is it normal that, yes, I felt scared? Because for those who have not experienced it before, when you think about it, some of the lower tones that we introduce, for many people, create a bridge or an association to scary movies.
Because they actually
the Foley artists, the Foley artists use the gongs to create those,
the association.
Those sounds. So there's the association. However, once you experience it, once you experience the pathway into higher realms with the gongs and with the sounds, the second time is a very, very different and probably richer experience, richer in the sense that you have an entry point that you can then dive into much, much faster. But that's a different topic. I would say that those are some of the most common questions. Some people also say, is it okay that I fell asleep? Because they just get so deeply relaxed that they zonk out. But the thing is, we always prefix it by saying that, yes, if you happen to doze off, that just means that you are deeply, deeply relaxed. And that's essentially where we want you to get to, because that's where homeostasis occurs. The whole healing element kicks in, and healing process kicks in that state. So again, there are many different questions. Is it normal that my back does not hurt anymore? I don't know what happened. My knee, my shoulder. Yes.
I have a client with concussion, and she has been doing like a lot of work with neurologists, and she says that through the different treatments that she has gone through, now treatment makes her feel like how she feels after the sound. I mean, the pensive clarity, because there's like a lot of confusion at times. She could feel like super overwhelmed with different stimuli, not just simply people or sounds, loud sounds, but the sound of the gong releases her from all of that, and she feels great. So now that neurology is like, continue to do it, because it's like a long treatment what she's.
So, essentially, Tim, there is no cookie cutter approach to this, right? I mean, this is not a magic bullet or anything like that. We are all at different stages in our paths. We all are facing different, let's say, challenges or opportunities on our paths. So the sound envelope that we create provides an opportunity for many, many different entry points into, again, inner healing, deep relaxation, introspection, inner reflection, expansion, transformation.
So you're
for the first time.
So you're listing all of those different things. And my mind wants to ask, so do you use different sounds for each of those different, so relaxation, one set of sounds, elevation to higher realms, a different set of sounds, healing pain, a different set of sounds?
Healing pain,
the other thought was, so if I come to you and I say, I'm going to attend one of your seminars where you have a session in afternoon or evening, and I come and I've got depression, do I need to tell you that so you do different sounds than somebody if I come and I have anxiety?
It would be definitely helpful to know where you are and what you are wanting to quote unquote address. Because based upon that, number one, we can set our intention. You can set your intention as to what you want to get out of the session and what we want to provide for you, or Gabi wants to provide for you for the session. And then we together would formulate or create that kind of a space. And yes, to your question, lower frequency sounds, generally speaking, they relax you. They just relax you. Higher frequency tones, they stimulate your nervous system. So they get you more kind of going, so to speak. So when we do a group session with a number of different people in the room of who we do not know as to what their individual conditions may be, other than maybe wanting to relax and just kind of detach, we typically provide a colorful bouquet of sounds, meaning that we provide all of it, so to speak, the whole spectrum. Because as we had said last time, each of these different frequency ranges, tonal frequency ranges of the instruments that we play, touches down upon different elements of your body. So we try to provide an all-around kind of aspect or envelope of sounds that touches it all, so to speak.
Plus, depending on the purpose or the goal of each one of the participants, this is a journey, like a journey through sound. So yes, we are aware of that. So for example, at the beginning, it's just like very subtle sounds such as the singing bowls, for them to begin like smooth, to enter into a relaxation mode. And then we use the shakers, for example, and that gives you like the sensation that you're letting go. It's like washing all away,
shedding.
As if you were going through a river, because there are some sounds like the ocean drum that we use that they have a clear association with that they're in the ocean, so they can feel the water. And the shakers, sometimes they give them the sensation of being in a river and the pebbles in a river. So those sounds, so those are so good just for the beginning to loosen everything, whatever they need to let go. And then after that, we begin with the going deep into the journey through the didgeridoo. And then after that, we begin with some mallets, which give you the sensation or the association with the sound of whales. So you're safe. You feel like you are in that realm of wisdom, but being safe with a great mother or something like that. And then we continue with the gongs. So that is the complete expansion of the journey. So then they're unconscious or whatever they're going through, because each individual is unique and their story is unique and the moment in their path is unique. So, but they are already feeling safe. Plus, Tim, there's before this journey begins in the different soundscapes, there is this prefix or this guided meditation.
Right.
Just for them to know that they are safe. This is a space with no time in which you are completely safe to feel, to let go, to connect, with infinite love. So that is already opening. They're not in contraction. What is this? What is this? But they begin to feel that okay, I can trust, and that is where they reach all kinds of connections. For example, so then after the gongs, then we do a lot of combinations with different mallets, different frequencies. As Marian was saying, a combination between the higher pitch, lower pitch for them to have the relaxation, and then a little bit more of stimuli, and then once again, it's like a wave. It needs to have this rhythm, which is for us the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
So Marian tends to do more the percussion. I tend to do more the expansive sounds. And then after all these different places and sensations and frequencies, yes, we tend to finish with the beautiful sound of the chimes,
Koshi chimes,
which is incredibly sweet. And what we notice, and then what they share with us, is that this feeling of, it's so sweet, the sound. You see the smiles, you see people with the tears, with the smile, because they feel like angels or fairies or something really beautiful. And that is to welcome them back to consciousness. And then, of course, with the voice, I guide them out of the trance or the journey, the deep, deep, deep relaxation, for them to know that, okay, let's come back.
Yes.
Just begin to take a deep breath. Continue with your eyes closed. Give yourself the time. And so to me, it's a beautiful sequence that guide people into a very deep journey.
Yes.
Very expansive journey.
Yes, and needless to say, there is a million ways to play the gong, to play the didgeridoo, to play any kind of instrument.
Yes.
We feel that because of our backgrounds and our individual journeys, our journey together, and then the fact that we represent yin and yang, we kind of provide at least that's what we are being told, we provide a very melodic and harmonic kind of journey, like Gabi was saying, because we also have heard of people that just kind of, I don't want to say bang the gongs, but you can bang the gongs as well and create sound with that as well. So again, there are a number of different ways how to approach this. And like we had said last time already, the intention is very, very important in this. And typically, just to kind of dovetail on what Gabi was sharing, typically a session is about an hour long. The sound part and the meditation part of the session is about an hour long. So if we have an opportunity at this gathering here today, we would love to give you a sample of maybe 15, 20 minutes, if that fits into our window of time, for you and your listeners and viewers to experience it. And it comes really, really close to the real thing, even though it is through these technological channels, because again,
it's a virtual experience.
The intention behind it is what counts for a large degree.
So when you're doing those, and you mentioned that you've got these monthly things that you offer through an online experience.
Right.
And when you're doing that, do you recommend that people listen with headphones so it's coming in both ears?
Yeah, I mean, ideally that would be the ideal case scenario, and we prefix it with that as well. And we have a little Q&A on our website as well, where yes, with headphones would be cool. Close your eyes, deeply, deeply relax, and enjoy the ride. I mean, literally.
Yes, and the difference with the headphones is that there is not a sound from the environment that could distract you. Because it's very easy without being trained, let's say you're very familiar with the experience with this kind of meditation, to get distracted with some whatever. When we are live, for example, this is something that I mentioned, like any sound from outside or inside of the room, allow that sound to become part of the experience as it happens in life, no? The things that you don't plan, that is part of the experience. It's okay. So yes, with the headphones, it's like you are immersed.
So do you have specific experience with people who are highly sensitive? So I have a number of people I work with, and they pick up energies. They're very sensitive to sounds. Sure. They're very sensitive to the temperatures and clothes, and their entire life experience is of being much more
intense.
Aware of a lot of the subtle things that the average person just walks right through and doesn't even notice.
Right.
It's sights, it's sounds, it smells, it's textures, it's energies.
Absolutely. Yes, and again, coming back to what we said a little earlier, it totally depends upon the individual and how they ingest, literally, how they ingest and perceive and receive what we are sending their way. And if it was, let's say, a group of individuals of that nature, we would adjust it accordingly. We would maybe tone it down a little bit in terms of the volume. So there are different ways how to approach this, but elements or aspects of that nature are important or helpful to be aware of as one dives into it.
Exactly. So as we are playing, we need to be aware of the group and the different reactions the body speaks, no? And when it's a work, like an individual work, which is more like my experience, yes, of course, there are cases in which there are people in which they cannot, from the very first session, they could not close their eyes. So because there is all these background or experiences or trauma in which in some point they would feel like so helpless and really like threat because whatever was the story in their lives, so anything that they cannot control can become like a real stress. So it's like gentle and slowly, just like to give the experience a little more and then a little more and then all of a sudden they feel as safe as never before. And it's part of the healing, just to transform, because it's one thing would be for them to be aware where is this anxiety or where is this fear or where is this uncomfort coming from. But once there is that insight, that is not enough. Then you're helping them to train or retrain that body, just integrating the knowledge or the sensation that they are safe and that life is good and that all is well. But all of that, you need to feel it in your body, which for that, the sound is beautiful. You don't need like much explanation or something.
Right. And in these 7 years that we've been doing it together and 10 years that I've been doing it, I honestly have not had one person come to me afterward and said, this was horrible or anything like that. One lady. Yes. One lady, that's right, at the Theosophical Society.
She was so angry.
She was angry and, she was writing she was writing her own story. She was writing her own book. So, but other than that.
So in that diverse stories and diverse people that they can participate and be part of a group, that is something very important when we are giving the explanation. Is for them to know, we try to describe it as accurately as we can, is something like this. So if anybody has, or just to get it, how was, because there was one experience also where a lady started to have like a reaction after the session. She was releasing. So we were just like trying to assist, and she was well. I mean, she had the most wonderful experience, but for us, just to see the different ways in which people can express a release, that was one of those, or the lady, no? But that is part of the healing. At times, it's they need to do that.
Yes, if you can take it to the next step. Under guidance, you can, yes. I mean, it's helpful, obviously.
But that is important just to share as exceptions that have happened. But we, from there, I was like, man, let's just let them know that this is just for their deep relaxation. If they want to go like deeper into something very specific, trauma, whatever, this is not the place. This is just a place for them to relax and to receive and to feel safe and all of that. And then we always offer at the end, if you want to go deeper, then you have your individual consultation.
That's where Gabi comes in, and she does that on a one-on-one basis, all small groups, depending upon what is needed. So yes.
Great.
Does that answer the question?
I think that's it's a good place to let you take us on a little journey of sound.
Okay, cool. So as we had said, what we typically do and say is that all that will be coming your way is of a very loving, healing, and benevolent nature. We are going to place our intention upon love,
gratitude,
harmony,
expansion,
joy,
inner peace,
healing,
a sense of freedom,
and abundance. And we invite you to add your own to that, and then collectively the sound is going to amplify those. And we will dim the lights, and we recommend for you to just, again, deeply relax, take some deep cleansing breaths, close your eyes, make yourself comfortable, and allow the waves of sound to take away from you what no longer serves you, and to bring to you what you are meant to connect with next. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Taking a deep breath, allow yourself to deeply relax. Just focus on your breath and the sensations in your body as you breathe in deeply. Relax your feet and your legs, your abdomen, your chest. Relaxing your shoulders as you begin to let go, just letting go of what no longer serves you, that which is not yours. Just let it go as you continue to relax yourself, relaxing your neck, your face, your eyelids. Breathing deeply. Visualize yourself just going down into different levels of relaxation. So from 5 you go down to 4 and then to 3. feeling more relaxed from 3 to 2 and 1. And now you are there in the silence within yourself, in the peace of your essence. Now feel the expansion of your being as you flow with the sound of the gongs. Continue with your eyes closed just for a moment, allowing yourself to bring your awareness back to this moment harmoniously, breathing deeply. Just beginning to move your fingers, your toes. And whenever you feel ready, just open your eyes, welcoming yourself to a new life.
Welcome back to planet Earth.
Well, this was just like a little sample.
A sampling, yes, a little sampling.
Sampling.
Kind of like a little teaser.
Just
How
to
do you
have
feel?
an idea of the sounds and.
Tim, how do you feel?
And for good reason. If I started snoring, I didn't want that coming out to ruin the recording. There were parts of that where I was finding myself fading in and out of, awakeness into sleep.
Nice.
And then that little nagging part of my mind saying, well, wait a minute, you're the interviewer here. You can't go to sleep. So,
right.
But it was wonderful. And for the variety of different gong baths and sound experiences I've had, what you just did there, what the two of you were able to do with these variety of sounds, was a broader spectrum than I'd experienced before. So it's delightful.
Thank you.
Just delightful.
Thank you.
So yes, we have those experiences that are like 1 hour, for example, when we talk about groups, but we also offer like 8 hours of sound. So imagine the journey. It's like one of those that you don't want to come back, I think.
We do an overnight one, yes. There is one coming up in for the fall equinox. We do those in a Himalayan crystal salt room. So the whole room is paneled with Himalayan crystal salt. And Gabi and I play the gongs for 8 consecutive hours. So it's a stream, it's a stream of sound. So if you consider the combination of the salt and the sound, it's a very, very profound experience. And again, there's one coming up.
Plus the whole environment, it feels like being in the center of the earth.
Yes,
or something
it's just very special. So yeah,
precious.
we provide a number of different things, as you can surmise by now.
How many will you have at that 8 hour?
There are 13 spots available because it's a relatively compact room,
which is ideal.
Which
just
is beautiful.
Small
yes.
groups
Yes.
for those longer sessions.
Yes. And we do those typically 4 times a year. Each time the season changes, we kind of go along with that. It's a theme that we have been pursuing for several years now. But the sky's the limit. We can create whatever somebody wants to create with us. So, yes, we have wonderful things going on, and there's more to come. And these virtual sessions that we are offering for your listeners, they are very similar to what you just experienced. Again, they are just an hour long, and Gabi provides always a beautiful meditation.
Geared to the topic.
That is tied to a topic, yes, and topics range from, gratitude, flow, life, connection, relaxation. Number of different topics that we have a little dialogue on, similar to what you just experienced with us.
Some specific ideas on practices, mindfulness practices that they can also use to reinforce.
Yes.
If they're interested in developing that specific thing. Another thing that sound creates is like the clear feeling that you are in the origins, like in the most essential part of yourself. So you can literally begin to create from there. And by doing that, people that were educated or trained under a lot of control and things like that, they can just get beyond that and then just explore the vastness of their being and begin to create and to feel who they are
Right.
which is just like precious.
To connect with the essence. It's basically what it comes down to, right?
Wonderful.
Yeah, and to come back to briefly what you said to come briefly back to what you said a little earlier, that you were starting to kind of doze off. That's beautiful, because as we know, I mean, that's theta brainwave range, which is again where deep relaxation occurs, and where basically the reboot or the reset or the recharge occurs. And we sometimes have people come to us after the session telling us that, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, I slept through the whole thing. To which we always say, no worries. Your body, your being received what it was meant to receive, because vibration and sound go through you, whether you hear it, whether you perceive it with your skin or your bones. And again, the intention that we set with that, coupled with your intention, is going to bring you the desired effect one way or another, whether you are awake or whether you are not.
Yes, mostly at the beginning you need to be guided, definitely.
Yes, and that's why we always prefix it with an introduction to give the paradigm of what is about to happen, which is very helpful for people. Because if you just walk in, and we just had it the other day, when somebody was telling us, I went to one of these and I didn't know what to do, and it was just not so good. So you need to kind of set the stage for the participants to know what they are going to receive, and again, what it is all about. And I think with the dialogue that we've had with you, for which we again are very grateful, I think we kind of paved the path for people to understand what this is about.
Yes, the goal, the intention, very important, because where you focus, as we know, where you focus your attention, then the energy goes there.
Right.
So imagine somebody that just heard the news or something horrible, and then he comes to a gong session. It's like, okay, amplifying those thoughts.
Right.
So that's a reason why it is so important, the initial guidance.
One of the things that is a real challenge in my work is to help people get out of their head and into the heart and the gut. And there are a number of different therapy techniques that I've been drawn to over the years, specifically for that. How do I put the conscious logical mind aside for now? It's a very useful tool. I'll need it to figure out how to drive home. But for now, as I'm working on the source of the depression or the anxiety, it's just a complicating factor. And so when people come in and they say they fell asleep, their energy system, their heart system, their intuitive system is getting through the sound vibration. It's getting shifts and balancing that it needs.
Exactly.
Wonderful stuff. I wanted to mention, because in the first talk we did last week, you made the offer to give a free month of access to this online experience that you have.
Right.
And to get that, we decided that people would go to delamora.life, LIFE/members, and then use the code Journeys Dream Sound, all one word, Journeys Dream Sound. And if they went to Gabby's website, Gabby Delamora, GABYDELAMORA.com/membership, there they would use Journeys Dream Therapy at checkout to get a free month access.
Exactly.
Yes, and in the second one, in Gabby Delamora, the membership area, they have access to a complete online course, which guides them step by step into different practices of mindfulness for them to apply, to learn, to integrate. Plus, they also receive the guided meditations or the sessions with the sound, with very specific guided meditations. With a specific purpose. So for them to be able to reconnect with the inner child, for them to be able to integrate the mind better, for them to be able to create a balance in their everyday life, and so on. So there are 6 steps, and it's very useful because then you have a perfect sequence just to follow and very simple practices. So all of that is available in that, plus the sound and some visualizations in nature, because as we know, and we, for example, when you think about a metaphor, the metaphor sometimes tells you even more of if you were just like describing the situation. So by them visualizing or using nature as the beautiful and perfect metaphor for their own lives, to really integrate that into as part of their experience, is a beautiful way to install like new symbols that are going to be present in their experience, the way they feel life in this new training of yourself to be yourself. Right. So those are precious like tools.
So yes, check out both. Again, they are free for 1 whole month. We have an archive of these on the Delamora.live site that you can just touch down on different topics like we said. Peruse it. You have nothing to lose, you can only gain. I also would like to mention that we are in the process, if anybody is interested to have a gong, either in their office, in their home, if we have practitioners here with us, chiropractors, therapists, I mean, on and on and on.
Or therapists.
To have a gong in their home office, it's an incredible tool to, again, reset, to expand and all of that. So we will very shortly, we are working on that, to have gongs available for sale on our side. We have singing bowls already available for sale. We have the koshi chimes for sale.
Some other tools.
Yeah, some other tools.
The first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is, and as you sell the gong, do you include a training session?
That's a very good question. And I'm glad you brought it up, because I had just had that thought also. We are in the process of creating a course.
Definitely.
Sound therapy course, if you want, a sound bathing course. How do I work with sound? And it's a piece of work that is in progress, and it will be available and hopefully not too distant in the future. So I'm just saying that because there are many things that we are developing and working on. So check back with us. Put your name to our mailing list. That way we'll keep you informed as to what is happening, which you can find on our websites. And
Yes, we were so focused on being the providers of the experience, but then you realize that there's so much, and this is growing so much each one needs to be their own specialist, no? To play their gongs, to know the techniques, and to learn how to connect and interact with their own gongs. You were mentioning, Tim, that sometimes it is so challenging for people to overcome their minds, no, to go beyond the mind and the story and the trauma and all of that. Sound is the perfect vehicle for that, because for one, they are safe as if they were in the mother's womb. They are just like safe in this environment, enveloped by the sound. And then you can go with ease to those parts that you need to attend. And since they begin to feel it, and you begin to just guide them in their breathing and all the techniques that you already use, but sound is precious for therapists, definitely.
And you know, one quick remark on that, the easiest and simplest way to experience sound and vibration, cover your ears and hum. Nothing else, just hum. And experience what the vibration and the sound does in the cavities of your skull and throughout your entire body. Last time we talked about the vagus nerve, how it affects each organ of your body. So if nothing else, just cover your ears and hum.
Well, and if you want to, that's why the chanting has been such a part of so many spiritual traditions. There's the book Echoes of an Ancient Dream by Dale Allen Hoffman that introduces people to that, and is very much like what you're saying.
Yes.
Just learn to do toning, learn to do chanting. And it gets amplified if you put the fingers in the ears first. But
and I wanted to say, let
me just say, as you're getting ready for closing remarks, that we have to wrap this up in like a minute or two. So go ahead. I'd like to hear from both of you.
No, the only thought I wanted to say on that humming, if you want to then amp it up, just om. But that's kind of what you were saying a few moments ago. Closing remarks, honey.
Closing remarks?
Yes. Closing thoughts.
Yes, use the sound of your voice. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. Create the space for you to feel that connection with this space, with your own being, which provides like your own healing, your own calmness, love, freedom, all that which sometimes we're trying to find there somewhere or in people, no, to feel that love or feel loved. You can find it like within yourself, and using the sound is a beautiful way for you to feel it. So,
wisdom, love, and eternal and universal energy resides within each and every one of us. We are all part of it, and it is all part of us. The key is to allow oneself to connect with it or to reconnect with it. And sound, in its many different forms, is a wonderful, wonderful and effective tool to accomplish that if it is skillfully applied. So,
well, thank you so much, both of you. It's been a delight. And I look forward to my first attempt to connect with you on the in-person experience for one.
Yes, please do.
That's so wonderful.
Please do, Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
it's been a delight.
Likewise. Thank you.
My next guests are Gabriella Delamora and Marian Kraus. For millennia, people of different cultures have used gongs to access and reconnect with their essence and higher consciousness through sound. Gabriella and Marion provide the vehicle to a guided meditative and transformational journey through a harmoniously layered, multidimensional tapestry of sounds designed to deeply relax and invigorate participants simultaneously. The couple creates a soothing and healing environment of ambient sounds created by 5 large gongs, a didgeridoo, a flute, hand pan, singing bowls, drums, rattles, and other sound tools, which positively rebalances the mind-body-spirit connection. Participants are presented with an opportunity to lift their awareness about limiting beliefs and how to transform them. As a life coach with master's degrees in psychology, art, and religions, enriched by 17 years as conductor and anchor on national TV programs related to health and well-being, and as author of the book Un Minuto para Ti, Gabriella's goal is to share specific ways of integrating a wholesome and balanced life with her audiences, completing a 20-year international corporate career, and transitioning into the adventure of entrepreneurial endeavors as a visual artist. Marion's extensive studies in metaphysics contribute to his heightened intuitive perceptions and interpretations. Both Marian and Gabriella have studied gongs and sound therapy with renowned master teachers, and their European and Latin American origins and inherent artistic and musical abilities possess a colorful life history, thus working seamlessly together to facilitate a truly unique, consciousness-expanding experience. Please visit delamora.life, delamora.life, or gabbydelamora.com, gabbydelamora.com for more information. In order to support the ripple effect of positive resonance and expand the community of kindred spirits, Gabriella and Marion want to offer our listeners and this community a free 1-month access to their online groups for each of their websites. These free memberships provide convenient opportunities of reinforcement to maintain the momentum of stress and anxiety reduction, introspection, personal transformation, healing, and more. For the Delamora Transformational Experiences website, please visit delamora.life/members, delamora.life/members, and use the code JourneysDreamSound on checkout to receive the free month access.
You've been listening to the On Your Mind podcast, offered by Journeys Dream, where we support people through mental health challenges to a place of true and lasting well-being. If you love our show, we invite you to visit onyourmindpodcast.org to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our helpful resources. Thank you for listening.